Hello, Astro friends. Happy spring. Hope you're enjoying the springy vibes that are out there now, at least here on the Pacific Northwest coast. Hopefully, also in your region. It's so beautiful. It's enlivening. Everything is bursting and blooming. It's happening unstoppable, and it's Aries season. We are now still in Aries, in early Aries, and coming to mid Aries already on the 31st of March until, let me just get all my ducks in a row. March 31st till April 9th is the center of Aries. Now we're in early Aries, which has an Aries undertone. So there's this whole system with the decanates, with the 10 degrees, 10 degree segments of each sign. So each sign has 3 decanates, the early, the central, and the late part. So, and they have undertones. So early, the first 10 degrees of each sign have an undertone of the cardinal sign in that element, and that is for Aries, also Aries. Everything starts with the spring equinox, with the astrological new year, and we've just had this marker last week, the 20th of March. So now we're 1 week into Aries, and in the meantime, we had the Aries New Moon on day 1, or the second date of Aries, the 21st of March, and it was at 0 degrees 49 Aries. So how was that for you? The last video was just at riding that new moon energy. I believe I did it right on that day. And now we're 1 week after the first new moon in spring, and so much has been kicked into motion, so much has been initiated, and yeah, all about showing up in a new and fresh and authentic way. So the early Aries decanate with the Aries undertone is about authenticity, is about new beginnings, is about, as I said before, in this little tile for the for Insta and for Facebook. Begin, dare to be you. Renewal and authenticity. So that's the first degree. The second 10 degrees, the center, date-wise, March 31st till April 9th, has a Leo undertone, because the center of each sign has an undertone of the fixed sign in that element, and fixed fire is Leo. So what's with that? It's about being bold, being seen, showing the love. It's about sovereignty and creativity. So we're stepping into that shortly, but we're still on the first starting point of Aries, right? What else is up actually for this week? Not as much as last week. But I'm wondering also how you're experiencing so far in these first few days the entry of Pluto into Aquarius. I haven't launched that article yet because I'm still collecting more research about it, but it's imminent, coming soon, and I'm also busy with all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to give you a few days to see what presents, and how that can be verbalized and formalized. So how's that for you, with having come out for now from the Pluto in Capricorn experience that we've had for the last 15 years? Pluto is freshly in Aquarius until the 11th of June. That's just the very first phase. There's 3 phases, as I mentioned before. Here it is again. So first phase is this one, the first 2.5 month trial phase of Pluto in Aquarius this year, 2023. And then there'll be another a 7 month phase next year from January 20th on until September 2nd. And then a quick break back in Capricorn for the last unfinished business until November 19th. That's 2024. That's when Pluto finally enters Aquarius and will be there until 2043, 44, so 20 years. So in other words, this is really a transition phase, these 2 years. We're getting used to it, and we're also, what's accentuated is the cusp. And that cusp of Capricorn Aquarius has a lot to do with community building, has a lot to do with systems, with society, with structure and people. I've noticed actually already that people, random people, friends, seem to be so much friendlier these days. Could be also spring, of course, right? But there seems to be a less of that Capricornian heaviness. And that can be a really great precursor if that is the promise of what we could see more of. And of course, also Capricorn is very dense. It's the densest sign, rock solid, densest earth sign of them all. So versus Aquarius is much more transparent. So while Capricorn rules rocks and mountains, Aquarius rules glass and crystals. So things can become much more crystal clear, much more transparent, and that, of course, also evokes and provokes change, right? Because it also reveals shadow. And we take things lighter, and we need a lighter experience, a freer experience. Aquarius is all about freedom and about equality, all these values that were so strong and so intensely brought up with the French Revolution. That's when Pluto was the last time, literally the last time, in Aquarius in the late 1700s. So equality and solidarity and freedom. So let's see what this round brings out. And I've been doing some research on transhumanism and posthumanism also, which are phenomena that are really showing up strongly right now. More factors for Pluto and Aquarius for this evolution as it presents, but with a lot of shadow attached as well. So we'll see what I come up with in the article and what wants to show up in society about this. Anyway, so what else is up this week? Let me just go a little bit to my notes so I keep track of it all. Still no planets retrograde, by the way, right? Until April 21st is when Mercury goes retro in Taurus. Mercury is still in Aries, and it actually just passed Jupiter today. That is quite the phenomenon. Also brought up a lot of positivity, opportunities, and the notion to be bold, to be authentic, to be direct, maybe also some very direct and in your face words and thoughts and expressions. So you don't have to take things so much at face value, but it could have evoked something that needs to be seen, that needs to be shed light at and understood with Jupiter. Also lots of opportunities to speak out, to be an advocate for something that you're really passionate about and that needs to be presented at this point. So what is up this week? Mostly actually two transits on March 30th. That's in 3 days. And then also on April 3rd, the last day of our week here on Monday. So this week goes Tuesday to Monday here with the videos. And so what's up with March 30th? On March 30th, we have Mars now freshly in Cancer, which just started on the 25th and goes 25th of March goes till May 20th. So March now in Cancer makes its first, no, it already made a transit with Pluto right away, a quincunx with Pluto in Aquarius. So, so these two are kind of really at odds with each other, were at the onset of Pluto in, of both, Pluto in Aquarius and Mars in Cancer, right? On that day, the 25th, when Mars entered Cancer, it also formed as quincunx. A quincunx is known here in North America as an inconjunct. Inconjunct is a really odd term because who knows what this is? Is this conjunct? Is this not conjunct? And if not, what is it? So basically, I like the term quincunx better from Europe. That means these planets are 5 signs apart. So quinx in Latin is 5, right? So 5 signs apart is usually quite a strange, a sort of alien and relationship with each other. They don't know what to do with each other. They have so little in common, but they need to process some stuff. So, for example, like Cancer, where Mars is now, and Aquarius, where Pluto is now. And Cancer needs a lot of safety and is much more smaller scale oriented, very personal and very sensitive and very homey and very in need for protection, things like that. And Aquarius is much more out there, is more actually impersonal, while and much more freedom oriented, detached. So a nice combination, in fact, is something I just realized that was brought to me because Cancer is a lot about care, right? This is the, with Mars in Cancer, is a mother bear energy and care and compassion. And Aquarius is about humanitarian or otherwise projects that benefit certain groups that really are, in this case, in need. And this friend of mine, who is herself from Romania, she told me about this spirit animal sanctuary in Romania that's in dire need for funds to feed the animals. So I decided to offer another Astro Donation Day, which I just created here. And that will be on April 12th. You'll find it on my Facebook page. It's for low income, reserved for low income clients. So that it's also affordable sessions and your own assessment, what you consider, if you consider yourself being on low income, which can be also temporary. So, but you might be also in need of some astro guidance. So let's create a nice synergy, a nice Aquarian win-win. And from your donations, 44% of that will all go to that fund to help feed the animals. And yeah, everybody wins in this case. Now, Mars in Cancer, in the meantime, moved on a bit and will be in water trine on March 30th, water trine with Saturn in Pisces. So both in water signs and now in a really nice and friendly alignment. And yeah, so Saturn in Pisces also offers us lots of teachings, lots of dharma, as it's called, and karma, to be kind and compassionate, and at the same time also understand the laws, spiritual laws, and go by those and experience also the effects of that. That give better vibration when we are open, connected, compassionate, forgiving, and letting things go, and are not so um, attached to how things should be, without actually, just being what's it called, like a pushover or doormat. That's not the point, but it's about getting relaxing with your ego investment in things, and going actually with the Tao, as I call it with Saturn in Pisces, the Tao of flow and unity, right? So these spiritual lessons and laws, and there's many of them, they're all similar in a way, right? What connects us all, and what would be a better vibration, right? So, and Mars in Cancer links up with Saturn. So that can be a beautiful time, and now building up, and being exact on the 30th. So for connectedness, for care, for compassion, to whoever shows up, maybe just people whom you feel you want to give a helping hand here and there, right? So make the world a better place and feel better for it. So things like that. At the same time, also being maybe a tribal warrior is also Mars in Cancer. So what's with tribes and family can be spirit family that you feel very protective of, and feel like you want to also approach, or get something going, get some project going with family, and do something in a house as well. This is a spring, would be wonderful for spring clearing and letting go of things that don't serve you anymore and could serve somebody else much better at this point. Would be also a nice combination of the two. And and then on the same day, also on March 30th, Venus in Taurus meets Uranus. That happens once a year only, and this will be the day. So Venus is now in Taurus, and then meets and passes Uranus on March 30th. What's with that? This is a lot about love and freedom. So the expression of that can be set your love free, be free, and true love is also freedom. And true freedom is also love, comes with love, and not with, all kinds of other stuff attached, right? So I heard at some point this really great quote by Krishnamurti, the spiritual teacher, who said, what is freedom that has no opposite? Because if it has an opposite, it actually is not freedom. If it's freedom versus slavery, freedom versus oppression, or all that, right? Then you're still in the polarity, in the duality. Is there freedom that can be beyond good and evil, beyond this or that, beyond anything it contrasts with, right? And can we experience that? And same with love. So true love has no opposite. Even the old or well-known dichotomy of love and fear is also still, there's two sides here, right? Can there be a love that is bigger than all of that and doesn't even go by love versus, right? So, and then bringing love and freedom together is the key here, and the art here with Venus Uranus. Can we embody freedom and embody love at the same time? Maybe you already noticed quite a few things on this note lately, and so it becomes exact, as I said, also on March 30th. Then on April 3rd, we have another shift, which is Mercury will then go into Taurus, where Mercury will dwell and sit and hang out. Taurus likes to take its time, and Mercury likes to take its time super long this season in Taurus until June 11th. That is April, May, June, more than 2 months. So usually Mercury is 3 weeks in a sign, but in this case, more than 2 months because did I say June 1st? No, it was good. Okay, so you can see that in the write-up, also the lineup of these Astro events I'm talking about, right? So I'll post that below, not on YouTube, but on Facebook. You see the itinerary of what I've been talking about. So Mercury in Taurus, April 3rd till June 11th. And why is it so long in Taurus? Of course, because it goes retro. As I said before, April 21st is the day when the first planet goes retro after long, no retro phase since January. And the first planet will be Mercury, followed by Pluto very soon on May 1st. It starts with Mercury, and Mercury will go retro from April 21st till May 14th. So 3 weeks plus in this case. And that will be quite significant because Mercury will also meet the North Node in Taurus on April 7th, and Uranus close on April 21st when it goes retrograde, but it doesn't quite meet Uranus. It goes retro just shy of passing Uranus, and then go retro. And when going forward again, on June 4th, the end phase of Mercury in Taurus, Mercury will meet Uranus. What's with all of that? So the piece of the Mercury North Node is what really is supported at this point and what can help us to actually get energy from, which versus on the South Node, we tend to lose energy even though we're very drawn to it, but we shouldn't overdo it. And that is at this point Scorpio until mid-July. What's the downside of Scorpio? Scorpio is already down. So it's about getting sucked into all kinds of dark tunnels and rabbit holes and sabotage and manipulation. And it's good to see all these things. Yeah, even especially together with Pluto, they have to be called out, but it shouldn't be at our detriment, right? When we do research about these things, we don't want to get trapped in it and then be really down. So what do we need in contrast and in balance? With Taurus, we need to come back to our body. We need to come back to what our values are. We need to come back to joy and to nature. And what better time than this year in spring, right? Which is also Taurus season, really helps us with all of this. And Mercury in Taurus will also meet the North Node, April 7th, as I said. And so in other words, what do you truly enjoy and value? This can be a great great inquiry, right? So lots of exploration about that. And what would you like to manifest that is really joyful versus being always, having this devil's advocate on your shoulder saying, no, it can't happen because of this and this and this, right? Taurus says, yeah, life is joy and life is love. So let's attract and manifest this. And then also, how do you embody freedom? The big question with Uranus and Taurus. Even despite all these disruptions that are going on currently. which are really annoying. Lots of things are cut off and interrupted and all this, but still we can find joy and freedom. So um, see what is actually maybe also in the way. What are your obstacles? What is your mind saying? How can your mind become more joyful and peaceful and calm and appreciative of life, which is all Taurus. So lastly, what's with the moon? We have the waxing moon now since the new moon on the 21st, and the moon will enter Cancer tonight. Now it's still in Gemini, void of course as of this evening. Will enter Cancer. When is that? At 3:22 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, and will be in Cancer all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and until Thursday afternoon. So that's a beautiful lunar position. The moon belongs in Cancer, and it's all about belonging, while at the same time it's in contrast with the sun in Aries. Sun in Aries is super strong. Moon in Cancer is also very strong, and they are somewhat at odds with each other. This will be a quarter moon, right? Moon square sun. So there can be some conflict, some contrast between um, your own feelings and needs and sensitivities versus what your wants, right? And your motivation, your energy says, yeah, let's do this, but oh man, I feel kind of a little cautious and sensitive about it. So to find a nice dynamic expression of these things, right? And then the moon enters Leo. So double fire, Leo moon and Aries sun. So we have that from uh, Thursday afternoon and all day Friday, all day Saturday until Sunday early morning. So lots of into the weekend, Aries Leo, so even more fiery, enlivening, passionate, and fun-loving energy. Let the spring begin, and let the joy of life and love be expressed, right? And be creative. Have have a party. Is very Leo, right? Bring people together. But the moon in Leo will also, as she enters Leo, immediately go into opposition with Pluto, now in Aquarius, right? So we have a new Pluto dynamic going on. Now everything Leo, for example, and Scorpio and Taurus will be affected by this Pluto in Aquarius, but only the early parts, the cuspy parts at this point. So there's the Leo side that says, "Oh, this is what I do here, what my heart calls me, and what brings me joy, what expresses my love of life, and so on." And Aquarius says, "Yeah, okay, so but there's a bigger system here also going on." And maybe it has to do simply with dynamics with other people. It can be just you know dynamic with others who are not as privileged and fortunate as you are. So how can you um, be in your soul power together, so that it is not just basically uh, your uh, your sort of own expression of your life is, if you're on the Leo side, right, is one of privilege, versus other people are sort of in the shadow, and or you feel, oh, I'm just ordinary person, and other people are so privileged, so elite, and they have it so much better. I'm just one of many. So that can come up with the Leo Aquarius dynamic, right? Can that come together. We all share our humanity, and we can all be seen and loved as Leo would like to. And so then the moon goes into Virgo pretty much all day Sunday and Monday. Sunday will be Palm Sunday in the Christian tradition. And then we're entering from then on already the pre-Easter week, which will be also, I believe, Passover in the Jewish tradition, with the full moon on April 5th, 6th. Yeah, so that Virgo moon that we'll have from Sunday, Monday into Tuesday afternoon brings much more awareness and more grounding. In this case, it's much more about reason and about self-awareness, health, good wellness practices would be wonderful to get something started. It's still the phase before the full moon. Something started that your health and your lifestyle benefits from. Spring is a great season for that. I leave it with this and believe we're already over 20 minutes, or we're always over 30 minutes. So all the best to you, and see you again in real life, or you see me here.